What's up, guys? Hope you're having a good night tonight. Things look a little different around here, which I guess is a good thing. Hung all the signs back here so you can kind of see everything. That way I don't keep changing them out. I think it looks pretty nice back there, actually hung on the wall. And it got a lot of new lighting. I probably look a lot brighter right now. I also have a microphone. What I'm going to start doing, guys, for the future, I've had some interest in, trying to basically take the videos I do and also have an audio format that you guys can have at if you download like podcasts or anything like that. You basically have an audio file of it, and you can subscribe to that podcast carrier that I will have, and you can basically just download any of the news waves, any of the Switch stuff, basically anything I do, I'll put into audio format so you guys can have it there if you're traveling and you want to listen to your car. I've had a couple people reach out to me and say, hey, I want to listen to your stuff, but it's hard on me when I'm, driving and I have my cell phone. It eats up my data very quickly. So I will do that as well. I'll leave links from now on to that. This will be the first one that will be in audio format as well. I don't think I'll have time to link it on this one, but I will have a link to where you can get all this stuff the next Newswave tomorrow night. So also I had someone, awesome person, actually make an intro just for me to play around with. I actually have a couple people doing intros and stuff that I'm shopping around with, but if you guys do stuff like that for me, I think it's really cool. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to play that intro today. So you will see that in a minute. And if you made it, you'll know who you are. So thank you. And but today is December 12th, and this is Newswave. So the first bit of news to get into today, guys, is Microsoft and Sony have, interestingly enough, dropped the price on the Xbox One S for Microsoft and the PS4 for Sony. Instead of being $299.99, it's now $249.99. They've both taken a $50 price cut, and that's interesting moving into the holidays. I assume one was going to do it, probably Microsoft, to be honest, and then Sony probably jumped on it as well, so they both probably got word that either one was going to do it, and they decided to jump on it. So if you're looking for a system at a good price right now, $250 is not bad for either the PS4 or the Xbox One. I don't know if they are the bundles. I want to say the PS4 version is the Slim, possibly Uncharted bundle, which is very good price, obviously, because Uncharted is still a $60 game most places. The Microsoft one, I believe, is the 500 gig. I don't know if it's one of the bundles, possibly. I don't see why it wouldn't be. So if there's like a Madden bundle or a Battlefield bundle or Gears, that should also be $250. But they dropped it because they're both competing, obviously, right now for your dollars. So if you're looking to get one this Christmas, though, not a bad deal at $250. And guys, with that, let's jump over to the Nintendo now, the Switch. Miyamoto basically went on record in an interview recently and said that there are younger people now taking the lead, essentially, and working on the Switch. And remember how a couple episodes ago, like a couple videos ago, I was talking about how it seems odd the way Nintendo is functioning right now. It doesn't seem like normal for them. And basically Miyamoto is telling us that there is a more current generation that is working on the Switch. And this makes a lot of sense because they've kind of always been behind the times with their hardware, with their online service, with their basically their social media expectancy with obviously their systems. I mean, they've always been one step behind with their like matchmaking, voice chat. I mean, the list goes on. We had to deal with friend codes for a while now, and it's interesting to see that a younger division, basically up and coming people, are taking the lead on the Switch and looking to kind of, I think, push Nintendo forward into this very competitive time right now with tablets, cell phones, and of course the Xbox One and the PS4 looming. And this tells me that there is a good chance we will start seeing things like online services through them have voice chat, no friends codes, things like that I think are coming. I think it's going to be a little more like relatable to the Xbox One and the PS4 online service. At least I hope so. I don't know why you would have a younger team basically focusing on this if they're not going to do things like incorporate those basic, essentially at this point, basic functionality now. Also, Miyamoto went ahead and said he would like to put more energy into games like Pikmin and StarFox. I was really worried about the StarFox franchise. Obviously, StarFox Zero, while it was an okay game, I actually liked playing it a lot. Did not get a lot of praise, did not get good reviews, and did not sell well. How much that has to do with the Wii U not selling well in the first place, we'll never know. I mean, what if it was like the Wii U had sold as many as the Xbox One or the PS4? Would the StarFox still not have done as well? I could have seen it probably selling at least 1 million copies in that case, just because there's more systems out there. But there were a lot of things, I think, for StarFox, like the gyro controls and stuff, that really hurt it, despite it being the classic StarFox game that we always wanted. I mean, we were begging for so long to get that basic StarFox game. We got it, and then it just didn't sell well. And again, I think some of that has to do with the Wii U not selling well, of course. But that probably also has to do with different things like the controls. And then once one bad review like that gets out there, people will start bandwagoning on. I mean, you have people who support either Microsoft or Sony more than they probably should. And of course, they'll bandwagon as well. But I'm glad to hear that Miyamoto has not given up on either franchise. And it sounds like he really wants to work with StarFox and with Pikmin, despite their lower sales, and kind of just keep them pushing forward for Nintendo. I really would love to see StarFox make a big time comeback with like a big game that sells well. I think the good news is with the Switch, I could see StarFox doing really well, obviously, as a multiplayer platform, but we'll see. It's probably a ways off before we see another StarFox game. I'm thinking years at this point, but it's good to know that he has not forgotten about them despite their low sales. And guys, it looks like digital is taking over physical completely, and soon enough we won't have any more physical games. At least that's what the story is, according to Blake Jorgensen from EA. In fact, in a recent interview, he actually went on record and said there's nothing stopping digital right now. It's coming for physical at this point. It's basically going to outrank, outsell basically everything when it comes to digital versus physical, and that they think it's sooner than later. Like, we're talking like by next generation we may not be buying games in stores anymore, which is really crazy to think about. Now, you can be on either side, of course. You like digital for its convenience factor, you like it because you don't have to leave the house, you like it because you don't have to stand in line, and it can be preloaded and available at midnight if you want it. And of course, physical, there's a lot of advantages as well. For example, you have control over whatever you want to play. Like if the servers go down, you can't authenticate. It's a little difficult at that point, obviously, to play your digital media. If your account gets hacked, you can lose a lot of your games, obviously. And in the future, if the servers ever get turned off because of time or they become legacy, you more than likely lose your stuff. And that's a real concern for a lot of people because they want to essentially archive the games and not have them be lost to time. So whether you're on either side, it looks like digital may be the way to go. I mean, remember, guys, it wasn't long ago that you would have to go to the store and buy a computer game. Not anymore. You go to Steam and you buy your games. That's it. That's basically it. You go to Steam's, you go to Good Old Games, you go to the EA store. I mean, there's a lot of digital distribution out there, but it's just that, it's digital. Again, I don't know how long until this happens. It could be sooner than later if you really want to believe that. I mean, we were very, very close this generation, if you remember, for the Xbox One to come out and say it was really only doing digital and then major DRM on physical games. Obviously, they backpedaled when they got kind of yelled at, but Blake might not be wrong here. It might be soon that we don't get physical copies of games anymore. And that's kind of worrying to me because I am one of the people on the physical side of games. I do understand the digital side as well. Obviously, I play PC games, and Steam is basically the way to go. So I'm on kind of both sides here, but for game consoles, I really like getting the physical media. It has more value, obviously, if you decide you want to trade it in at some point. And the archiving purposes is important for certain games. So I can go either way, but we'll see. It might be sooner than later. Like I said, next generation even, we might not be buying games anymore from the stores. Speaking of archiving games, here's a really cool piece of news for anyone who's a big retro fan. Recently, this is very cool, someone actually came across an unreleased copy of Akira for the Game Boy. This is pretty cool. There's actually a video I'll show you guys here of them actually popping in and playing it. This is Patrick Scott Patterson managed to get his hands on not one but 4 copies of the game. Now what it is it's actually split up between the different games. They're all different builds in various stages because what you'll do is when you're prototyping games, you'll basically release them in different forms of completion for testing, Q&A with different testers, things like that, just to make sure the bugs are gone. You'll fix them, you'll release it again, they'll test it again, you fix them, they release it, so on until it's acceptable in their minds. Their bugs will probably still get through, but you only have so much money for Q&A. Now, what's really cool is this person is looking to basically take this, complete the game as one cartridge or ROM, and then release it to the people, essentially, all of us. And there's never really been a good Akira game, obviously, and there's a chance that this one actually might have been a good game that got canceled over time. Maybe production costs took too long, or it got too expensive. It's hard to say, but it's very cool. I love seeing these little hidden gems kind of get discovered over time. It's very cool to see, and I love it when these people go out and find stuff. There was the 64DD, the disk drive, the American version that was basically picked up in Seattle, which was so cool. And you just never know. Like, these things could just come out of nowhere, you know, and it's the coolest thing to see. And guys, we've been talking a while about Pokemon Go releasing these second gen monsters, essentially the Pokemon, from essentially Gold and Silver, the next 100 to make it 250. And believe it or not, today they actually did that. They actually released new Pokemon. They didn't really make it super obvious. They kind of put it out there that, yes, we released new Pokemon, but you have to hatch them from eggs. So basically, you'll see them here. These are the baby Pokemon that you would hatch from eggs in the game. And what's cool about this is you can go right now and start hatching these Pokemon. There's a couple of them now. I know there was a Cleffa, Elekid, Togepi, of course, Pichu. These are all ones you can hatch now, which is great. They vary depending on 2K, 5K, or 10K eggs, of course. And I like seeing this because it makes me want to play Pokemon Go again. It got kind of boring after a while, as obviously the numbers showed. A lot of people started kind of stop playing it, and they really didn't have any dailies. A lot of these games free-to-play games will have daily things for logging in, like rewards. They didn't really give you anything. They could have even thrown you 10 or 20 Pokeballs a day for signing in every day in a row. They didn't even do that, but now it's good to see that some Pokemon are starting to come over, because there's a chance soon that they say, hey, another 50 are released from that 100, and now you can just go outside and catch them, because you'll get things like more experience, more candies, and just more reasons to go out and try to catch Pokemon. So I'm excited. I think it's a cool idea to do it in the wintertime. Again, like I was saying before, when a lot of people aren't going outside. But at this point, I'm probably going to go hatch some eggs. So I have, like, I think 5 in incubators right now, and see if I can get any of these new baby Pokemon. I'm kind of curious myself to see how they would evolve or anything like that. So I'll let you guys know if I get anything. And if you're playing Pokemon Go now, you probably may already have some. And if you are, leave a comment below and let me know what you got and what egg it came out of. And guys, today Nintendo actually announced their first Universal attraction. It's called Super Nintendo World. I guess that's a play off of Super Mario World, of course. And basically they released a whole picture here, which I'll show you now. And it looks cool. It does. It looks exactly like what I was hoping. They would do things like make an entire mushroom kingdom almost, if you look at it. They have the pipes and everything to go up. This is kind of a concept art. They had the Bowser castle in the back with the ominous, Bowser face and the jaws you have to walk through. And I like what I'm seeing here, because I wanted them to get imaginative with the whole thing. I wanted there to be a reason to go there and not just be buildings and stuff just with paint slapped on it, and you have obviously mascots walking around. I wanted it to get really, really interesting, and I have a lot of hope after seeing this concept art, because it looks like it may be worth the trip if you're a Nintendo fan just to go to Universal for this. So I am very happy. It looks very cool, and I'm hoping they do some stuff outside of kind of the cartoony stuff, getting the StarFox, make that really cool. Obviously, there's a ton of franchises you can get into. I don't think they'll get into the mature ones. Like, I'm sure there won't be a Bayonetta thing there. I think they'll probably just keep it mostly in-house with their own Nintendo characters, not just ones they work with and license with. So very excited, very cool, and I just want to see more attractions and rides that they come up with, even if it's just concept art, just to get an idea. But I'll keep you guys posted on that too, and I'm crossing my fingers for something Super Metroid. I think it'd be really cool to see a Metroid attraction. And guys, if you've been keeping up with CD Projekt Red's recent project, Cyberpunk 2077, you've probably realized there's not a lot of info out there, and the big thing we don't have is a release date. Well, one may have leaked. We're not sure yet, because they may also just be placeholder dates. But online on a couple different retailer stores, we've actually seen 2 different dates. We've seen September 30th, 2017, and we also saw February 2nd, 2017. I can tell you the February 2nd one is probably not true at all, because we don't have anything at all about it. And that means it would be coming out in, 2 months? And I don't think CD Projekt Red would do that to us. I think they'd give us a lot of information, because right now we don't have much. And kind of talk our way through about why we should buy it. They did a lot of that with Witcher, with a ton of promotional stuff, and E3 was big for Witcher before it came out as well. If I had to pick between either one, obviously the September one makes a lot more sense, because that's closer to 10 months from now as opposed to 2. But Cyberpunk is really cool looking. It's like I said, it's the next project from the creators of Witcher 3, which tells us it's probably going to be a big open world game, and it looks kind of cool because it's kind of a futuristic cyberpunk game. So check out some of the promotional stuff and the trailers that they did release for it, and just see what you think about it. But we may be looking at a Christmas or so 2017 release, which is very cool. I'm really excited to play that game as well, but hopefully it doesn't get pushed to 2018 and it stays in 2017, because 2018 is a little too far away for me. And guys, our last bit of news today comes from the world of Dragon Ball Super. I've told you guys several times, I'm a big Dragon Ball fan. I watch it every week. And this past episode, I wouldn't talk about, except for the episode was actually really, really funny. And it was actually worked out really well because they took a character that never gets any spotlight with Yamcha and just actually made it super comedic, and a lot of callbacks to the older episodes with him getting killed by the Cybermen and everything. They even did his pose at the end with him touching the base. It was great. If you're looking for something that's a little less serious and just a little funny, they play a game of baseball essentially between the two universes, and it's supposed to be a friendly thing. And of course, they blow it way out of proportion. It gets super fantastical with their Super Saiyan powers and everything. But Yamcha actually is the best baseball player they have. And it actually gets pretty good. So if you have a chance, check it out. It's already subtitled. It's all over the internet. You can pretty much go anywhere. But it was a lot of fun. So if you're a Yamcha fan, if you're a fan of the stupid Dragon Ball episodes like the one where they learn how to drive a car, yeah, go watch it. It's a good 20 minutes spent, I'd say. And guys, that's going to do it for Newswave today. Let me know what you think of the new setup if you like it. I'm always open to suggestions, like I said, so let me know. And I'll let you guys know about the audio files for these and where you can get them. Hopefully I have that all set up. I'm trying to figure out which podcast host to go with. I know people have told me Podbean, stuff like that. I'll see what looks good and what'll get you guys the podcast fast enough and easy enough. That way you can subscribe to a feed and you can basically just get them whenever you want. But I'm going to do my best from now on to separate the audio and put that on there for you. And everything else is going pretty smoothly. Tomorrow I'm going to try to have 2 videos out. One, I want to talk about the possibility, because this is the biggest question I've had. I'm going to talk about the possibility of having a GPU in the dock in the future for Nintendo. And then, of course, we'll have Newswave tomorrow night. So definitely comment, subscribe, like, and I will see you guys next time.